Welcome to The Explainer. The holidays might be over, but for NBA front offices, well, their busiest season is just getting started. Trade talks are absolutely heating up across the league, and we're going to break down who and what is really driving the market this December. So, while we're all glued to the games on the court, the real action for general managers is happening somewhere else entirely. It's not in some secret boardroom or over frantic phone calls. Nope. It's at one specific event that's become the unofficial kickoff to trade season. And that event is the G League Winter Showcase in Orlando. What started out as just a way to scout G League talent has completely transformed. It's basically the NBA's version of baseball's winter meetings now. A central hub where all the executives gather, talks really begin, and those first whispers of major trades start to circulate. And the timing here is just so critical. A whole bunch of players who signed in the offseason became trade eligible on December 15th, and most of the rest will follow on January 15th. That means we're just a few short weeks from the February trade deadline. The clock is officially ticking for teams to make a move. Okay, so let's really dive into this, because while you might expect all the headlines to be about superstars, the entire guard trade market right now is revolving around one key player in Chicago. Yeah, forget the household names for a second. The real focus of all the chatter coming out of that G League showcase is the Bulls combo guard, Coby White. He's taken this massive leap as a scorer, and when you combine that with his super team-friendly contract, he has become one of the hottest names on the block. And here's the number that has GMs so interested, just under $13 million. In today's NBA, that salary is incredibly easy for a lot of different teams to absorb. It makes him, arguably, the best and most accessible guard available on the market right now. But Chicago isn't just giving him away. Oh no. According to league sources, the Bulls are being called sellers with a purpose. They're not just looking to trade him, they're actively trying to start a bidding war. And their goal? To land at least one unprotected first-round pick in return. And that purpose is creating some serious demand. We're talking more than 6 different teams have already called the Bulls to ask about White. The Timberwolves' name has come up, and sources at the showcase were pointing to the Magic, Hawks, and Cavaliers as 3 other really intriguing spots for him in the East. So let's flip over to the buyer's side and see how this gets complicated. Because every team that wants a guy like Coby White is also dealing with its own unique set of problems and pressures as that deadline gets closer and closer. This table kind of breaks down the tricky spots for 3 of these key teams. You've got the Hawks, who are underperforming and need a spark, but are trying to be selective shoppers. Then you have the Cavaliers, who are feeling the heat from ownership and need to adjust their role players. And finally, the Bucks, who just know they have to make a big move to help out Giannis. So for Atlanta, being selective shoppers probably means they aren't going to make one single blockbuster trade. Instead, some folks around the league think they might look to move a player like DeJounte Murray to bring in multiple solid upgrades from a team like, say, the Bulls. And over in Cleveland, man, the pressure is really mounting from the owner, Dan Gilbert. While their core 4 seems safe for now, the expectation is they'll look to move some of the secondary talent. Guys like Dean Wade could be on the move as the Cavs try to shake things up and maybe get out from under that really restrictive second tax apron. And then you've got the Bucks, who everyone expects to be aggressive. The name that was being floated around most often at the G League showcase for them was Jerami Grant from Portland, maybe even in a package deal that also brings in Robert Williams III. Other names linked to Milwaukee? Andrew Wiggins and Corey Kispert. Okay, let's talk about the luxury items on the market now. These are the players that every single contender wants, but very few have the assets to actually get. And this whole conversation centers around the New Orleans Pelicans. So here's the deal, the crucial point. The Pelicans are taking calls, but according to every rival team, they are not budging one bit. The consensus is that their asking price for their top players is just way too high right now, and it's created a standoff in the market. The 2 players everyone's after are Trey Murphy III and Herb Jones. Both of these guys are exactly the kind of 3-and-D wings that every contender is dying for. It's why teams like the Lakers and Warriors are constantly checking in on Herb Jones. But the Pelicans aren't actively shopping either of them. And the message is clear. A trade is not happening unless someone meets that sky-high price. And speaking of the Warriors, sources say they've been one of the most aggressive teams out there since December, just trying to gather as much info as they can. They are actively looking for an athletic forward and have reportedly held talks with the Pelicans, the Bulls, and the Nets. So, this all leads us to the final and really the most important question. How does all this connect? Because in the NBA trade market, no move ever happens in a vacuum. It's all just a giant interconnected web. The decisions on these three players, Coby White, Trey Murphy, and Herb Jones, they're the linchpins for the whole market. They are the market makers. As soon as one of them gets moved, it's going to set off a massive chain reaction, and it'll shape the options for every single buyer in the league. So, what you should really take away from all this is that the entire landscape of the NBA season could be completely reshaped by one single decision in the next 6 weeks. The market is set, the players are known, and now we just have to wait and see which general manager blinks first.